One of the biggest mistakes I see Western guys making when they go on their first dates with Indonesian women, but not only Indonesian women but also other Southeast Asian women, is that they start rushing in too much. With that I mean that they talk too much about themselves, their achievements for example, and also even start bragging about themselves. And this is the topic of today's video: why bragging doesn't cause attraction. Yeah, I have released similar videos already, and I want to discuss this today again and add a few points. By the way, walking here through a heritage village in Malang in East Java. I'm not in the wild west, I'm in the wild Indonesian East, and this village is a very nice place, old buildings. This is the way the people used to live. You will see why I record this video. So important is to remember, because I've done these mistakes as well, is that we start slow when we go into our first dates, meetings with Indonesian women. I talked about the concept of high school dating in earlier videos. Remember you were, 16, 17, 18 years old. You didn't have much money at the time, but you were interested already in girls. So what did you do? You wanted to hang out with them, date them, maybe invite them for some ice cream or other stuff, I don't know. And the money was maybe just enough for ice cream and maybe no more money left. So you only could go to the beach maybe and take a walk, right? Exactly. That should be the mindset you want to be in when dating Indonesian women, especially when you don't know them. Yeah, this is important because you wanna bring them to nice, fun, inexpensive places, because until you know her better, right? And until you also know whether or not she's interested in you, you want to make sure she has a high level of attraction. And until that point, until you don't know that, you don't do anything. You don't throw cash or other stuff, because when you do that, when you straight from the beginning throw cash at her or other stuff, then you will create expectations in her mind, and then later also you create even an entitlement mentality. This woman would feel just entitled to receive gifts or airplane tickets or whatever from you, right? So this video is especially for the successful guys. And you can see here these old buildings. This is the name of the village here in Malang, Kajutangan Heritage Village. I like that stuff. This is the way the people used to live, and they preserved that place here. Very nice. Anyway, so this video is for the successful guys, or guys who think they are successful. The problem these guys have is they are way too logical anyway. We men, we are logical creatures, right? We are rational, we are logical. We are the exact opposite of women. Women are irrational and very emotional, right? So, especially for the successful guys, it is important that you don't start talking about your achievements, your money, your car, your income, your investments, your big house, your villa, and your travels. Everything which is so money related, you need to avoid, especially on your first dates, but also later. Because when you talk too much about these things, you will basically ruin the attraction and nothing else. So let's go here, and this is what's happening. But this is how we men tick. We are rational beings, so we think, I need to impress this woman with my achievements, with my money and this and that, because then she will be attracted to me. Isn't that what women want? Financial security and safety and stuff like that? Yeah, women want that, but attraction works a little bit different than this rational approach. And that's why it's a very counterintuitive thing anyway, but you will ruin actually the attraction, right? So none of this causes attraction, with normal women. Most of the women are normal, except for a few chicks who are gold diggers and stuff like that. And also you must not forget that Indonesian women, the vast majority, they come from a very humble background. Like you can see here, look around this place. This is actually not a shabby area, it's well maintained, but this is how Indonesian people still live today, and lived for hundreds of years. This is how their villages look like still today. And here you can get a really good idea how people in Indonesia actually live and what they're doing. Hello. Hello, you see? They are humble people. You don't need to flash your cash in front of them and this and that. You will make them feel so insecure right away, and this is not what we want. You, as a man and as a leader, you want to make a woman feel secure and safe with you. You want to make her feel comfortable with you. You want her that she feels safe around you, not the other way around. And all this flashing your cash and bragging and talking shit, you achieve actually the opposite result. What does it mean to be financially stable anyway? And this is the end here, so I have to turn around. But anyway, there's more to see here. So what does it mean to be financially stable anyway? Perhaps some guys also have a wrong idea about it. I mean, just because you are rich doesn't necessarily mean that you can manage your money very well, right? And the other way around. You don't need to be rich, or people who are not rich still can be able to manage their money very well. And this is actually what women want. This is what they mean with financial stability. A guy who can manage his money well. You don't need to be necessarily rich, but he needs to be able to make money, of course, and also manage this money properly. Now this is what financial stability is all about, actually, in my opinion. And for the guys who are bragging, these guys who feel they need to do that, they're actually very insecure about themselves, and who they are as a man. This is approval-seeking behavior. When you brag or talk a lot about your achievements and stuff like that, then you seek approval, and you come across as hello. You come across as needy and insecure, and unsure about yourself. That's the problem. And another thing is very important to understand. You actually you have a low self-esteem when you brag, because you feel you have a lower value. That's why you feel you need to brag, to talk about your achievements and your money and this and that, because you actually feel a lower value compared to that woman. So you want to qualify yourself to that woman, yeah, and you automatically also put her on a pedestal, yeah. And this is not actually a position of strength or confidence, right? It's a weak position if you communicate lower value to that woman, that you are of lower value. This is not what also Indonesian women want. They want a leader, a guy who has his shit and act together, who can provide, who can protect, you know, and take care of the family. You don't need they don't want a low value, needy, insecure guy. So this is for the normal women. But of course you have gold diggers, you know, and these are exactly the women who then are kind of turned on by these needy guys, you know, these braggarts, because these gold diggers have a game to play. And if you flash your cash and brag around or even start to throw cash, then these gold diggers, you know, of course, what do they want? These women, they just care about safety and security, nothing else. For them to be safe and feel secure, especially financially, is very, very important. Why that is, you know, this has different reasons, psychological reasons, and her upbringing and her childhood background and stuff like that. But these women are extremely needy also when it comes to safety and security. And when they see a guy flashing cash, of course, they will approach these guys and use them, you know. And these women don't care about your personality or character. They don't care about your beliefs or what you think or even what you say. They just care about your money, because they kind of need it. Yeah? So you see, these women actually are also dysfunctional. Gold diggers are dysfunctional women, most of them, I believe, but they are not the majority. Every normal woman would be repelled by a guy talking too much about himself, flashing cash, bragging, and this and that. Yeah. So this is a great indicator. It also happened to me, you know, I made these mistakes in the past also, and I was wondering, hey, why I always just attract these gold diggers, you know? Yeah, there is a very logical reason actually behind that. I tried to explain it to you just now. Yeah, this is this, and another thing I want to mention here quickly at the end is also another mistake what many guys make, you know, is to they badmouth their ex-partners, their ex-girlfriends when they go into the first date with a new girl. You know, they're putting everything on the table, all the baggage, all their old baggage they put on the table for the girl to know this is not necessary. You know, you don't talk about your past relationships, especially with a girl you just now date, a new one. Yeah, you don't badmouth anybody, and you again don't lay out all your problems in front of her. This is weak behavior. Yeah. If you have anything to say about your ex, then say positive things, or just shut up and don't say anything. Yeah, because also when you share these dirty little secrets about your ex-girlfriend and how bad she was and this and that, you know, you not come across as very trustworthy anyway, and this woman will then think, oh, can I trust this guy, you know, can I share with him personal things? I don't think so, because, you know, he is already here gossiping about his ex-girlfriend, you know. So these are the things to consider when you go on your first date with an Indonesian woman. It's very, very important that we understand that and also practice that. And I know the urge is in some men very, very strong to approach this first date very logical and rationally, in terms of wanting to qualify himself to that woman. This is the rational behind it. But if you need, again, like I mentioned already, if you feel you have to qualify yourself to that woman, then you actually not feel worthy. So you have to get to work on yourself. You have to fix that issue. You have to fix your low self-worth and self-esteem. A guy who is centered and confident and has a healthy self-worth, he don't needs to qualify himself to anybody, not to any Indonesian woman, not to his mom, not to his dad, not to nobody. Yeah. So there's an old TV here, and Elvis Presley. Yeah, so nice. So many shops, old tapes here, by the way, from the. Yeah, okay. You love Elvis, yeah? Okay. Yeah, I didn't actually show you the shops here, you know. Sorry, I'm digressing a little bit, but you know, you should visit this heritage village here in Malang. So to finish this video, yeah. So a guy who has a healthy self-worth, you know, he don't need to qualify himself to anybody, and that's the whole thing. Yeah. So these guys would not brag or talk too much about themselves, because you know how we say in Germany, der Gentleman genießt und schweigt. Ein Gentleman genießt und schweigt. The English translation is something like a gentleman enjoys and remains silent. Yeah, and that's the whole story. So thank you very much for listening, for watching. From this heritage village here, there's way more to see. I cannot put this all in this video because this is not the purpose of this video, to introduce to you this village here. There are other YouTube videos out there for sure who are walking you through this stuff here, you know, old records. Yeah, I remember the tapes in the 80s and 90s. We had them, you know, long time ago, huh? And it's a beautiful little spot here. I like that. So traditional, so rustic also. Really reflects the local culture, the local people, and it's also clean. People take care of their property here, you know. Everything is neat and nicely decorated with plants and stuff. And yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching. Let me know what you think. Are you bragging around a lot? Stop it, okay? You have to reduce this, okay? Don't be this low value guy. Don't communicate that you are a low value guy to this Indonesian woman. It will not work out, not with a regular normal woman. Women are repelled by this behavior, needy, insecure behavior. Women don't want that. Okay. See you in one of my next videos. Take care. Bye bye.